Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today before I get to today's video talking about, I guess you could say, the hype train, or the number one thing that I really dislike about the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I guess you could say, out of many things in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! This is the number one thing I actually really dislike. I guess you could say to some extent. First off, I want to give a shout out to Team APS, and especially Terrell from Team APS. When he was doing a couple of weeks ago, I remember he was doing a video with Paul talking about hype and how most of the time hype fails and falls flat on its face. And it got me thinking, it got my juices turning in my head, some of the things that they were talking about, especially what Terrell was saying about, it was like, I feel like I could add to this conversation, or, I want to talk about this a little bit more in depth for what time I can do. Second thing I want to mention quickly is I need to get this video done as quickly and as concise as possible. The day I'm making this video, guys, it is actually me and my girlfriend's anniversary today. And so I need to get the heck home, get changed, and take my girlfriend out to a great dinner. So it's our 1-year anniversary for me and my girlfriend. And hopefully you will have seen her in a Q&A video by the time this video goes up. I don't know if that's going to be the case. But she did consent to that, by the way. So I got 2 videos I can do with her. But yes. Thank you, Team EPS. Thank you, Paul and Terrell, for giving me the juices flowing in my head to talk about this video a little bit more. So, really, when I was thinking about it and prepping myself for this video, I thought to myself, where did the hype train originally come from in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I guess you could say. When did it really start? And it got me thinking, I remember when I was a kid and being at regionals and being at locals back in the day, I recalled, people hyping certain cards up, but they didn't become astronomically expensive. They were like little tech cards we hyped up. I remember Kinetic Soldier back in the day when Warriors were kind of a thing, Warrior Swarm with Marauding Captain and stuff like that. People hyped up Kinetic Soldier, which was kind of an expensive card, but it really wasn't like, a $40, $50 card that just got shot up overnight for no apparent reason. And I also thought about later on when things like all the failures that things have been hyped up, Mystical Wrath Panel, Skullmeister, things of this nature that have been hyped up throughout the years. Spell Chronicle, shall we not forget? I still remember to this day people that were actually buying that card for $5 to $6 because they thought Spell Chronicle, I think it was called Spell Chronicle Cancel or something like that, was a good card. And I read that card and I was like, why is this a good card? I kept saying to myself, why is this a good card? I actually took time to read it. I was like, why are people hyping this card up? I always try to read the applications of a card before I really think, is this a good card? Is this a great card? Is it a bad card? Try to read in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! It really helps you out, I promise you that. But a little bit more into the topic. Really, I feel like the game of the hype train really became a thing after people started doing some Yu-Gi-Oh! Articles. I remember like Pojo and things of that nature. That kind of started it. But it really, I feel like it took off after YouTube really became a thing and Yu-Gi-Tubers became a thing. I feel that really gave the hype train the extra, shot in the arm that just took it to a completely different level from what I recall. But that's just my recollections throughout the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! History and rambling. So why do I hate the hype train so much? I feel like people, I don't want to say Yu-Gi-Oh! Players are sheep, because that's not the case. I believe we all have minds that if we use them, we become smarter. I'm not trying to diss anybody. Please do not take it in that recollection. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, a lot of players out there in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Use their minds. They think, they engage their minds when they're looking at cards, when they're thinking and playing the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! But there are other players out there that just believe in other players out there that, hey, if I tell you that, Blue Eyes White Dragon is the next meta and it's going to be the top tier deck come May of 2016, you may believe that. And I personally, I'm just going to say right now, I really wish that would happen, and I would pray to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Gods that would happen, but I highly doubt it is going to happen. I will try my darndest to make it happen, though, I promise you that. But yes, that's what I'm trying to say. There's people out there that just hype things up, and I'm like, why do you do this to people? And then I think, well, why are people falling for this? It just feels so stupid. And I just can't believe how crazy sometimes the Yu-Gi-Oh! Market can get. It's just ridiculous how much hype certain cards can get and how much people try to squeeze money out of people just for these cards. And I'm like, well, are these like, I look at some of these cards and I'm like, yeah, it's a good card. It's a good card. It's an okay card. It's not a $40 card. A good example that happened recently is the Dark Monarch. I think it was called, not Karaz, but oh, I forget what it was off the top of my head. It came out of Star Strike Blast. Not to mention that just about every card that came out of Star Strike Blast has been hyped up to some extent at some point in time. And one of the good ones was actually Vandy's Emptiness, and I have to give credit to that. Vandy's Emptiness was a hype thing that happened that is actually true. It fulfilled a prophecy. It was a good card. And pretty much to some extent it ushered in kind of a floodgate type of cards and floodgate type of thinking in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess you could say. Beside the point, again, really, the hype train really gets me mad because I'm like, why are these cards so expensive just because? You know, these are pieces of paper here we're talking about. This is not money. I mean, granted, you know, I understand, you know, I'm taking a Yu-Gi-Oh card, which is a piece of paper, and I'm exchanging it for a piece of paper. Okay, I'm taking a piece of paper and exchanging it for whatever I think it's worth, $5, whatever, $30. You know, paper for paper, equal trade, right? But that paper that you have, that money you have, can go to so many different things, really, when you think about it. You know, a Yu-Gi-Oh card is only going to take you so far. And a hype train, if you learn anything from the game of Yu-Gi-Oh and take anything away with it, is don't always follow what people say. I try to tell you guys, it's just my opinion, it's just my thoughts. Don't take it for the gospel truth. You know, if you have a different opinion, voice it to me. Let's talk, let's discuss in the comment section. I always try to do that with people. Sometimes some people kind of make very rude comments and I really don't want to comment back because that's kind of mean what they're saying. But yes, think about it. And when you're trying to, and when something gets hyped up, you know, engage your mind. Think about it, guys. You know, don't just throw money at people, you know, going, woo, look, money, 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 oh, yeah, I'm just throwing money. Look, money, money, I'm following the hype train. Don't be that guy. Think, engage your mind with your money before you buy something. I know I'm being kind of weird here, but it's true. And a lot of people don't do that. And so just take the time next time there's a hype price and just learn from the past of Yu-Gi-Oh's history, where most of the time that these hype trains happen, they're not a good card. They go down in price right away. They go up for like a day or two, a week. You know, people hype this stuff up, hype it up, hype it up, hype it up. You feel like it's gonna burst and then it just falls flat on its face. I can't tell you how many decks in the game's history were hyped up to such an extent, but fell flat on their faces. Granted, they were a good deck, but the meta, you know, let me give you some examples here. You know, people hyped up Chronomaly artifacts, decks of this nature. But you know, our meta is different from the OCGs, which you have to take into account. And we don't know what the meta is going to be 6 months from now, 5 months from now, 7 months from now, let alone, you know, 3 months from now. We don't know. The game's always changing and evolving. And that deck that may be good right now in a certain scenario against a certain deck could be completely irrelevant come 7 months from now. And people don't think about that. So try to think about it, guys. Engage your mind. Use the brain cells you have to think and engage when following the hype train. I don't like getting on the hype train. There's only, I guess you could say, the one time I followed the hype train, but I actually did it because I wanted to build the deck, and I did it before it became a hype thing, was Madolches. I thought Angeli was a good card. Though I saw the downsides to Madolches, that they could be easily countered by Max Z, Effect Veilers, you know, certain cards placed, you know, activated in certain situations could kill that deck in its tracks. This is back before, you know, we had Gym Knight Madolches, by the way. This is back before, you know, around between Hoot Cake and, you know, Angeli, I guess you say, when before Angeli was announced, when we just knew of Angeli and not its effect. People were like, oh, it's probably going to be good. And I was like, you know, I think it's going to be good too. I'm going to pick up, you know, I already had the deck and I was like, oh, you know, I look forward to it. You know, but people just blew it out of proportion to say, you know, Madolches are going to be the best tier deck of the format. They're going to be the most busted deck ever. It's a good, I mean, granted, it's a good deck. It's a great deck. It was a deck, I think, that still to this day was ahead of its time in the form of Tiramisu. But still, people hyped it up. And somebody, you know, in a draft format got first place with Madolches, and what happened after that? I hear crickets in the background, right? Yeah, that's what I thought I heard. Hand Artifact Trap Chicks took that format instead of Madolches. Yeah, that's what happened. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. Don't believe the hype all the time. Be it card prices, decks, tech cards, everything. Use your brain. Try to use it. It'll help you out in the long run. And I'm not trying to offend nobody by making this video, and I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. Please do not think that. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone. I'm just saying and asking you, the person watching this video, to please use your brain next time a hype train comes along. And granted, can I say with a straight face that I've made money off the hype train? No, I can't. I've made money by selling cards to people, Spell Chronicle, for example, because people wanted to buy it and I had the card. I was like, you know what, $5, $6, $7? Hell yeah. This card's been sitting in my tin for 8 years. Take it. Take it. I know it's not a good card, but okay, I'll be like, do you really think this is a good card? Yeah, I think it's a good card. All right. That's what you think. That's what you think. And like I'll just end the video like this as well. I won't go into that topic. That's a topic for a different day, I guess you could say. But yes, guys, just please use your brain next time a hype train comes along. Don't jump on that hype train. It usually falls off the bridge or gets derailed. It's going down, everybody's all hyped up, and then the tracks run out and you go off into the the crevasse, the ravine, and the hype train just dies. Or it runs out of steam or engine, whatever. So don't follow it, guys. Use your brain. Sometimes, yeah, I will admit the hype train is right, and it's true. What happens? Example, Monarchs are a pretty good deck. I don't think they're God, on Earth. I think they have good cards, but I don't think they're the most broken thing next to sliced bread. It's just a coin of phrase. But yes, guys, please use your brain. And until next time, guys, take care. Have fun dueling. Good luck dueling. I just want to thank again Terrell from Team APS and Paul from Team APS for helping me just making this video in general, because watching their video really inspired me to do this. So thank you, guys. And until next time, take care, everybody. I'll see you next time. And I gotta get ready for my date tonight. Take care, everybody.